Alex here with a high conflict child custody video on mandatory vaccination orders. And this is in the context of high conflict child custody only if I was going to do a sort of general, can the government force people to get shots? That would be under legal nuts and bolts. And I don't think I would do that. Maybe it would be like a live stream discussion or something. Um, I am going to talk about at least the high conflict child custody perspective because that's highly relevant to the channel. And it is something that I'm getting questions on. And I think the first thing that I want to say is you have to step away, and I know I've said this in other videos, you have to step away from the idea that your child is getting their rights infringed upon by the government. The reason why is because from the government's perspective, you have the parental right to say you don't want your child to get a shot, and the other side also has the parental right to say that they do want the child to get a shot. And I feel like it's tough for people to see this because they just see a court system and a judge on a bench and a court order, and immediately it's like the government's intruding. Your ex is the one filing the motion. Your ex is the one that's forcing it to a hearing or an order. And it's just not the same as if both of you agree and just out from outside, the government just kind of comes in and says, you guys have to get your child vaccinated. That's not what I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm going to talk about legal custody rights, which both parents have. And as much as it frustrates one person that their legal custody right isn't being acknowledged, it could also frustrate the other person that their legal custody right isn't getting acknowledged. Both the mom and the dad have that right. And sometimes they don't agree. And so from the child custody perspective, you have the court saying, I'm going to step in and mediate. I'm going to enter an order because both sides have parental rights over this one child. And one side wants this and the other side wants that. One side wants the child to get vaccinated and the other side does not want the child to get vaccinated. Just like with ordinary legal custody disputes, you come to court on equal footing and the court makes a decision. Just like with picking the school, just like with relocation, just like with all these other things that the court does, same thing goes for vaccinations. And it's a legal custody issue and they have to make a decision. A lot of people say, well, since both sides don't agree, the child shouldn't get vaccinated. Well, you can't just automatically apply that principle to everything. If both sides don't agree, do you just not put the child in school? If both sides don't agree, do you just not take the child to an extracurricular? If both sides don't agree, do you just automatically not do something? Interestingly enough, there are, statutes that the legislature can enact to kind of force this to occur. And I guess some jurisdictions have done this with regards to transitioning genders. And I think there are also some jurisdictions, in fact, Nevada does this with putting your child into therapy now. Well, no, not exactly. No, it just says that you need the other parent's consent or a court order, whereas before parents were just enrolling the child into therapy and not telling the other person, or the other person was refusing. Okay, so no, even that, I mean, you still have situations where the court has to decide what's the child gonna do, and they're gonna apply the best interest factors. Before people get really mad, yes, the government could, if they wanted to, enact statutes that say otherwise. They are allowed to do that. They could enact a statute that says something like, if both parents don't agree, then the court cannot order vaccines. And if they did that, you'd have a statute, and then one side can say no, and then the other side can't do anything about it, and then the court can't do anything about it either. But we don't have that. And anytime you don't have something really strictly specific that's in the statutes, the judge is going to just fall back on the statutes right behind that, which is best interest of the child. So their own opinion is going to go into what the best interest of the child is, and oftentimes it's going to lean towards vaccination. The only exceptions I can imagine is if some doctor provides testimony saying that for this particular child it's not good because of these particular reasons, and then you have a different story. But if absent something extraordinary, my imagination is going to go in the direction that they're going to order vaccines when there's a dispute like this. I just can't picture a judge saying they're just going to default in the other direction with the federal government and all this other stuff going on with efforts to get everyone vaccinated. I feel like this is going to frustrate people even more, but all I'm trying to do with this video is tell you the way that I think it is based on my observations. I'm not trying to give you my personal opinion as to what I think it should be. I'm just trying to tell you this is what I think is going to happen. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, just like with all the other videos, feel free to post those down into the comments below. Also, I recommend you take a look at the video modifying legal custody and school dispute, because that goes into these same principles where I know people feel frustrated because they feel like their rights are being infringed upon, but you have to remember from the government's perspective, your ex has rights too. And if neither side agrees as to how those rights are going to be executed, somebody has to make a decision at some point. That's going to be the judge. And again, if you don't like that, the legislature could enact a statute that says otherwise. They probably haven't done that in your state. I can't imagine any state where that's happened, where they've said one side can just say no to a certain thing and that's it. The judge can't do anything about it. They could do it, but I don't think they have done it. If anyone, in fact, is in a state where there is some kind of statute that says that, that would be really cool to post down in the comments below, because it would definitely be something new to me. I've never heard of it before. I know that they can do it, but yeah, if you know that in your state there's some kind of law somewhere that says if two parents can't agree on this particular thing, then the automatic answer is no. So again, guys, go ahead, post any questions you have down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time.